The Foundation for Sustainable Rule of Law Initiatives has been created to promote the establishment of mediation centers, which will enable underserved populations to gain access to timely, effective, and fair systems of resolving their disputes. Our focus has been in countries where backlog court systems have denied access to this kind of effective dispute resolution. Our hope in providing these centers is to enable individuals to have a sustainable method of resolving these disputes in an effective and timely way. FSRI is an NGO. We operate basically in a three-step process. First, we go to host countries where we are invited to participate in developing these programs to assess what their need is. Our focus there is to determine what needs to be done in the best interest of that country as they see it, so we can tailor an appropriate program. After that assessment is completed, the second phase is to implement the program by working with those key stakeholders in the country, that is the judiciary, the bar associations, the existing mediator base, the law firms, and the lawyer community. We work with them to actually set up the procedures and the program and to oversee the establishment of the centers. The third phase is to actually return to the host countries and oversee the quality of the programs. Sustainability is key to what we do. Our emphasis is not just on meet and greet. Our emphasis is building trusting relationships that results in a sustainable program that can be carried on by the host country without our participation. In fact, the true measure of our success is the ability of the host country to run their own mediation programs without our presence in a successful, effective, and high-quality manner.
We train judges, lawyers, and potential mediators so that they can understand that there is an alternative to litigating, to going to court, and to being more adversarial. These mediations often act as a therapy session, depending on the topic. When there was a husband and wife, they were dead set on separation. They were just there, sort of phoning it in, saying, let's just sign the paperwork. But the mediator could tell there were issues and dug a little bit deeper under the surface, and it turned out they were actually able to reach a resolution where they decided to try to work it out.
One of the initial cases we had in India was a case that had been around for 25 years, and it was the grandchildren 20 years later that were still litigating the case. And we resolved it in 3 sessions of 2 hours each in the mediation center. It's typical of the way that the mediation process really can work very, very successfully in a way that the courts can't. One aspect of our work that I would like to emphasize is the element of human rights that often comes into play in the resolution of these disputes. Many times we have family disputes, for example, where the spouse, the wife frequently, has obviously been abused, or there's been a child that's been abused, or there's a property dispute in which access to a safe living environment or access to food or access to water often comes into play. In many of the cases that we handle, we are actually touching upon very fundamental and important human rights. We consider this a part of our charter. We consider it a very important element to make sure that we address in the resolution of these cases. Human rights, rule of law, and peaceful and effective dispute resolution are very closely related to one another.
Vic Schachter came to India 8 years ago, and ever since then I've been seeing him constantly working at our mediation programs with the court system, with the mediators, and he's been like a kind of a bridge that linked the court system and the mediators. He worked with the judges to build the systems. He worked with the mediators to train them, to get them up to speed. So that was a great contribution. Vic and I have gone to the different states, auditing programs, talking about mediation, working with the system. I wouldn't have been able to do so much if I didn't have the support and the guidance that has been provided by FSRI.
We rely upon the support of individuals, foundations, and organizations to maintain our operations and meet the growing needs for our work around the globe. And I want to acknowledge our appreciation to all of those individuals and organizations which have continued to provide us with financial support and encouragement as we face the challenges around the globe to make these mediation centers successful.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Brandt, and I am happy to be a mediation ambassador for the Foundation for Sustainable Rule of Law Initiative, FSRI. We are a nonprofit NGO that travels around to developing democracies to help them promote mediation programs in their countries. This has been one of the most rewarding professional and personal experiences of my life.
We have a world of decreasing resources, global in its scope, with an increasing amount of conflict between nations, between states, between people, between families, and between communities. And I think mediation provides a vehicle in a peaceful and a timely way to address these disputes with a result that brings about a resolution that can be long enduring and very, very effective.